Hi everyone. So we are here at the University of Cambridge. My name is Kate, and as a partnership and relationship manager for the Cambridge Service Alliance, I'm excited to be here and also welcome CEO and founder of the Cognia AI lab, Alexey Makin. And here also with us, Professor Mohamed Zaki, Deputy Director of the Cambridge Service Alliance. So we come here today because we want to, from the one side, we want to announce the beginning of 5-year collaboration between Cambridge Service Alliance and Cognia AI Lab. So we are super excited about this, of course, but also we thought that it would be a great opportunity to discuss slightly broader, basically why industry, academia, partnerships, collaborations are important, why it's meaningful to have such type of collaboration, and also what's actually happening in the world of service transformation, what's AI, was like everyone is talking about, but what's it's actually doing with industries you're working with, we are working with. So yeah, let's just use this amazing opportunity. So Mohamed, my question is going to be first one to you. If you can share a few words about CSA.
Yeah.
And also why the partnership with industry, with the companies such as Cognia is one of the core to its model.
Thanks, Kate. It's a pleasure to be here. A pleasure having you, Alexey, here in the Cambridge. I don't know whether this is your first time or second time. First time?
Not first, second time.
Second time. This is great.
But my first time in exactly in the heart of your management.
This hub, in this engineering side.
Welcome, and I'm really excited about our collaboration. Thank you for our great, if you like, journey so far until we reach to this opportunity and time. So back to the question of Kate about the CSA. So CSA is a research center founded in 2010 by a couple of companies that they saw that the world is moving from product perspective into services perspective. They saw their industry shifting from transactional into more relationship. And over the years, obviously, we found that the technology is going fast pace. And also as well, that concepts of the future of digital services become in the core of every firm at the moment. So what we do, for example, in terms of new emerging technology to design new services, right? And particular now in the world that we're living in the moment, AI become the hot spot. Everybody now thinking, what can I do with this technology? So one of the big, if you like, theme research that we're focusing on is around this AI and how we can design new services with it. I think the second key activities that we do with some of our industry partners in this aspect is the customer experience. So how this technology can enable to better deliver better services and experience to their customer, how to manage it and how to measure it as well. And thirdly as well, I think the strategy questions when you are shifting from a product-centric organization into, if you want to call it customer experience-centric or services or AI-driven organization, you need to formulate this in a good way. And this including attitudes. So you want to change your, if you like, employees toward this technology because this new world of working mechanism as well using this technology. And I think the second aspect as well, the capabilities you need to incorporate inside your organization, including skills, including processes needs to be changed, and etc. I think the methods. The third aspect is the methods capabilities, right? So you are now used to do things in a specific way. Now you have a new way of doing things, right? And this is really the key, if you like, research stream that we are in the Service Alliance operating on. Obviously, research capability is a big thing with our consortium of industry that we're working on, but there is a lot of, if you like, events that we do with our partners. So the events in particular help us to understand their challenges, but also as well important from our researcher to engage with them. So we're not having researchers sit by themselves and basically try to come up with research. It's actually working hands in hands with the firms to address some of their key challenges. But more importantly, practice as well. So we have key aspects about some of the findings that coming from this research is frameworks, tools, methodologies, which is we are keen that this could be embedded in the organization that we're working on. So we try to make sure that this has been disseminated internally to the organization, but also as well to the wider community. So our academic publish, thought leadership, reports, but also academic outcomes, books in some cases, practice as well, like Harvard Business Review, articles, and etc. So that's the key, if you like, pillars that we are operating with the CSA. But again, welcoming, if you like, Alexey and his organizations to join the CSA in general. But come back to your last question is about why it is important. The way I see it, organization, when they going into AI transformation and digital, they can build capabilities internally. So this could be like innovation hubs, R&D centers, to basically starting to explore new opportunity for themselves. Another mode is working with service providers if they don't have all the capabilities. So you can see a lot of organizations, they are using cloud infrastructure, and so they're operating with service provider to enable this to be happening. Even consultancy and service provider to find the gaps and address some of these gaps. But the third mode here is working with, if you like, research center here to help in universities to help them to look into rigorous research and basically try to look into the future as well. It's not currently the current challenges and problem that you have at the moment is actually more in 2-3 years times. And the way we do this by exposing them to our PhD students, postdocs, who are really keen about addressing some of these challenges in the future. So.
Maybe Alexey, can you tell us also a few words about yourself, about Cognia Lab, and also, but why you decided to join CSA? What kind of value you see in such type of partnership?
Sure. Yeah. First of all, I'd like to say big thanks for you guys for your decision to sign and launch this alliance. And I believe the really good word is journey or adventure. I hope it could be lifelong journey together. Yeah. So about myself, I always was a part of the businesses and some professional community that bring technologies to transform lives, and the lives of common old people and organizations and companies. So I was a part of the companies that helped I could say the world to adopt the mobile and digital technologies, and we were part of digital transformation period of our lives. I mean, it was started 15 years ago when we all have seen the Apple iPhones, 3G networks, and so on. So kind of fundamental technologies that could our transformation could happen. Yeah. So it's the very important part of my life to bring this kind of value for our professional community and world. So I see and we see at the company the new era when we could say that new category of technologies, these large language models and agentic systems and this kind of, I could say, the new category of technologies, intellectual technologies, because we were living in the era of the informational technologies, and I see that the era of intellectual technologies are rising. And we believe that it's a very transformation point, and of course I personally and we as a company and group of people, we want to be a part to help, and we want to be a guys who could help all players of this game to go through this transformation point faster and much more easier. And my mission is to be a kind of person and company and player who can help to adopt the AI technologies to real world issues and real world cases. So, here we are, and actually we have, of course, a huge and big experience in practice world of understanding how some kind of new technologies can transform the business process, some human and computer interaction stuff and customer experience. And we believe that the customer experience, it's one of the most important point of view from which we can understand how is better to start and how is better to find a way how to adopt and find a way to use these technologies, because actually at the end and finally everyone personally use these AI tools in business process and at work cases or at homes and so on. So I believe this is the new way to understand how we can communicate, collaborate, and interact with this new type of technologies. So it's crucial and very, very important thing. So, in this case, we believe that the university and service Cambridge Service Alliance, it's like the meeting point of very important parts of this transformation, because we have no idea still the humanity. What's the case of using AI technologies, and we need to explore it. So we have some cases where we can looking at and take to our companies, to our lives. So we must actually explore how to use it, how to implement it, adopt it. So, and the Service Alliance is I believe the best meeting point of all parts. So I could say that enterprise companies or some enterprises, they have practice and they have these issues, their questions, problems, and so on. So, and some companies like us, we as a technology companies, we can help them to organizing this practice or connecting there with theory and academic way. But your place and your role is the most important, because you can connect enterprises and customers, researchers, and technological companies, and kind of this supply chain of value chain players in the one place, and speed up all this process to figuring out, exploring, understanding, and transferring the best practices around the world and around industries. So, of course, our dream is to be close to this point or to be a part of it. So with our role is and that values that we can bring to you and other partners of this alliance. So that's it.
I mean, thank you so much. I mean, this is great to hear as well that you're sharing the same vision, like all across our partners, which is HCL Tech and AstraZeneca as well, recently joined with the same vision that all of us with this technology is transforming our businesses, our customers' businesses, like you said as well, the humanity as well, because we are now as in different function, in different profession, using this technology in one way or another in our daily routine. So there is a lot to explore, I guess, right? So, and I think this is a great space, if you like what you discussed, where all of us come together with our different perspectives and share all our knowledge in a way of make us understand and address some of these challenges, hopefully in the future.
Let's talk about this challenge.
Yes, exactly. So probably as well, Alexey, because your team as well will be responsible around a lot of R&D activity around multi-AI agentic, especially now is, if you like, the term that everybody is using. I'm not sure what will be the next term or next hype, I guess. But my question is, we're hearing different signals, right, from organization. One signal is some CEOs saying, if my employee is not using a lot of tokens, it's a sign they not adopting AI, right? So I want him to maximize these tokens and use all my subscriptions for the different models and etc. Then you hear another signal from the market as well. They saying, oh, this is now cost more than hiring a human employee. So it's a contradictory message coming from the market, from these, we're talking as well, these tech organizations as well. And coming back to enterprises, like what you were discussing, this is still in every board now, discussing what should look like the AI governance, how we steer this internally, and etc. I know that your team is exploring as well this idea about token maximization type of level, and technologically how we should, as an organization, leverage different models in different capacity, different techniques, and etc. Do you wanna talk a little bit about your view, first of all, around where we're going with this token maximization phenomena? Secondly, as well, what you guys are doing, to address some of these challenges in general.
Actually, yeah, it's really one of the most crucial questions about the adoption AI and bringing the AI agentic systems to business needs. Actually, before talking the token economy, but it's really fundamental. But we should talk about the challenges actually and the kind of transformation on what the implications of transformation to the or using AI agentic systems in business. So I could say that we see that when we talk about some kind of stable stage of using AI systems, it could bring us or a company that use it some transformation changes that could make some operations 1,000 times faster or 10,000 times faster. And in example, we could see already when we talk about, for example, software development process or some customer experience issues managing. We can develop some product epics in 2 or 1 days to move from idea to production stage. That before that we had to spend 100 days of team of 10 people to do the same. And could you imagine transformative implications of it? That I can bring some change in my software, actually in my services, in my products, 1,000 times faster and cheaper. I mean, not cheaper. Let's discuss the cheap cost of it a little bit later. And that's transformative point. And for all of us, if we could say how we can win the market or earn more money when we can do something 100 times faster. So that's a point actually. And in cases when we see the business process, when we already met the result that, for example, we can, let's talk about another one case, for example, of customer support. Just case of one big telco companies that we are working with. In usual situation, in big telco companies, when we trying to manage some incidents or some issues of customers, we see the statistics that more than 40% or 50% of issues or some questions from people by phone or by email, or some mails, didn't answer it at all. Or we see the usual situation when we have some problems in network, cell networks, and from the beginning of incident and finding that the incident, increasing the level of problem, level of this incident of urgency, it's kind of 2 weeks. And big telco company could lose, catch the losses up to $10 million in some cases. It depends on the coverage of this incident, but it's very, expensive. And if we can build the process that we can recognize the incident online by reading or answering or using the LLMs or machine learning algorithms and predict or recognize the incident online and do the next step with the good level of confidence of decision to create the ticket in the incident system. and we met the case when we managed to close the incident in 1 day. From recognizing this incident to managing to close it. And it's just an example when we spend some time on developing and adding these special agent systems to analyze the data, analyze and helping to answering or recognize some signals from customers and find this situation when so we can recognize as an incident and just put the ticket in the incident system. Not after 2 weeks, but online. So it's just an example, yeah. And we can say that if we could bring more intellectual systems on top of the understanding and reading all issues or calls or something from customers, and we could find a way how to answer 100% of calls, for example, and switch recognizable, simple questions and give the automotive answers, but not by scripts.
Scripted responses.
But more intellectual, personalized answers, and we see the result as to grow the lifetime value of the customers up to 25%. And we met the result in the similar case when we grow the RRPU of the customer in 10%, just because we navigate the questions about the tariffs, not just to give the simple script answer, but to switch to sell person. Yes. So and some people just want to figure out what kind of benefits they can find, new benefits, for example, or some cloud storage, access to some LLMs in their tariffs, and they wanted not to just ask some simple question and get the simple answer. They need consultancy.
Yes, need advisory.
And advisory, absolutely.
Yes.
And it's just small examples, but intellectual systems help us to find some cases and recognize some situations that we can't recognize with machine learning system, for example, because machine learning system just predict the historical situations, and if we can, for example, recognize some unique situation that we have no historical data for that, or we can recognize some special cases that we can find a way how to navigate it. So it's just examples of the
opportunities.
Yeah. But we believe that the biggest challenges in that way, that when we talk about the speeding up the business process, we face the first challenge in understanding how we as a company or enterprise and big enterprise, how we can start this journey. So it's not about the technologies or R&D process, but how is better and more efficient. What is the most efficient way to start with that? So the first point, and we could say that a lot of feedback about the useless chatbots or some very expensive scenarios when we can't meet the business case and it's more expensive. If we don't use it, we don't spend so money. So we can't see the profit. Yeah, so it's very expensive for us. We believe that it's half of the very big part of it. It's understanding how we can transform the business process. And how we can change the way how our people in enterprise in our company using it, understand how to use it, and it's all about the customer experience, if you could say, employee experience with systems too, and in the way in the early beginning when we all try to understand how to find these first cases in the company, how to be more confident, how bring some special infrastructure to make it more cost efficient and so on. So I believe, this challenge of 26.
2026.
Yeah.
Okay. And you think part of that challenge as well is coming back to my question about the token maximization as well. So that balance, because what I see across different enterprises, they stuck with one big large language model, right? So I mean, let's face it, either Microsoft Copilot or the Claude capability or the mix between them. And it might be simple questions can be answered by one of the, if you like, closed source, open source, for example, that is better in this task and etc. So this kind of trade-off between open source proprietary, if you like, models, is this part of the transformation that you're seeing as well with your enterprise customers, try to guide them? Which task this kind of models can enable, which techniques as well, like you were saying about the, caching and fine-tuning capability, building capability inside the organization with their own specialized models to get their domain experience. If you can share some insights,
Yes.
How part of that strategy and part of this AI transformation, it's in the hand of this AI team or in the hand of the management to decide how to develop the right technology, if you like, to change the business problem or the business process itself.
Yes. Thanks for this very good question. So I could say that we should look into the very similar case that was happened 150 years ago with electricity. Actually, I believe we are at the beginning of the era, early stage, and of the using and implementing in our lives token economy.
Yes.
So as tokens are the electricity.
Yes.
And we could see that at the beginning of era of electricity, we had really first of all, we had closed loops of generating electricity. For example, the first electricity using was about the light or heating stuff or transferring the telegraph. And the Edison and guys who was selling the electricity businesses, they were building the all stuff in, for example, in the big ship. So generator, cables, all things and lamps. Yeah. So and it it cost fortunes. As the same tokens right now. Yeah. So we could and for now, for tokens, we can say that we must find some kind of etalon measurement of but of what actually. We name it. It's a kind of cost of unit of intellectual work. The same as work when humanity start measure electricity as some unit of work.
Yeah.
But we must talk about the intellectual work. So some simple task that we can make by intellectual system. And it could be kind of not unique, but legal measurement. Doesn't matter which kind of model do we use. So we must make some configuration or interface to calculate that we can do the one simple task, and how much tokens it could cost for us. And we can count the tokens from, for example, really expensive Opus 4.8
now, yes.
or from open source model, some open source model. But still, I believe the it just we will see the battle and war on the cost of intellectual work, and we already see the huge potential because potential to find the way how we can decrease the cost of this simple task. And if we talk about the using this methodology and understanding for enterprises right now, of course, if you try to buy tokens from Anthropic directly and from Microsoft, it could be most expensive. Yeah. So, and we see the methods when we can do the, I could say the basic level of it. So when we can combine some local stuff with data centers and cards on site the company, and to switch some kind of scenarios on local data centers to decrease the amount of money that we have to spend on cloud services. Just an example, so it's a real case. So for the company of 1,000 employees, it's enough to launch transcribe the audio, all audio meetings from Zoom, from all audio, just for cards, 4090 RTX. So it's not the H200 or it's really cheap cards. So only 4 cards is enough to organize this special service inside the company to work with all audio stuff and transcribe it and bring the result to CRM, ERP, and so on. And to using by people. So I could say it's just a very simple example, but it could avoid us from cost. Could say $1 million per month actually in some situation, but it's a very simple example, and we must go deeper in technologies, and we could say that some methods of optimization of inference cost. The second point is rely on how we work with our data and knowledge, for example. So we can bring special layers that can help us to organize some, for example, ontology glossaries or special knowledge graphs, and we see the difference up to 100 times if we navigate the text, plain text or plain text documentation with work to give the access for LLMs to work with plain text, and if we can navigate the LLM by additional layer of ontology glossary that can help us just take some special chunks, for example, to work with. And it's just a very simple examples to not go deeper in science. But anyway, the third point is we can organize special platforms that can help us to route, for example, to understand by very cheap model, for example, 2 or 3 billion parameters or less, to understand what kind of question or request we see from system or from human, and navigate it to local small model or to biggest and strongest model from the cloud. And we see the economy of it up to 53 times. So we could say that we can calculate the difference in one of our cases if we use direct navigating and transferring the request and answering to cloud systems and cloud LLMs. For example, difference between 1 million tokens and up to down to 100,000 tokens.
Wow!
In actually with absolutely the same task and result. So, and there are a lot of methods, and right now we can say that it's very combination of research, of science, and discovering different techniques. But we believe it's most crucial thing to think and field of discovery to is better we understand and find a way to make it cheaper, then more cases will become profitable, and we start using it as a humanity.
Yes.
So the same as electricity, actually, situation. So and I hope we could keep doing this research with you.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very great analogy and a very great discussions across as well. It's not going beyond that. If I want to use LLMs or AI or agentic, I have to rely in one method or one models. It's beyond this capability. So, and a lot of our research team as well is working around this kind of what will be the different methods to enable us to really deal with a specific task. But I guess coming back to your question about how to reload between small models, open source, and etc. This is the world of orchestrator, like multi-agentic orchestration to understand the task and then map it back to the right process. But I guess, if we're going to start talking more and more about AI agentic, I think this is our first episode with Alexey, just to welcome him to the Service Alliance. But probably you can see he's very knowledgeable about the technology, he's very knowledgeable about how this has been implemented with a lot of his clients across the different sectors. So I'm sure that we will have a lot of interaction with your team and your customers in this case, and our research team is operating in different spheres here. And I'm really glad that we share a lot of visions together around the technology can have a lot of opportunities, but it needs to be really aligned with the strategy of the organization, where they wanted to go, specifically in how this can be transformed experience in particular to their customers, but more importantly, have some return of investments, right? The questions about whether this can increase my customer loyalty, for example, or can I come up with new AI services that enable me to drive new revenue streams from this? And I think this is where every, if you like, executive now thinking, what will be the use case? And I like your approach when you're starting to talk about we need to prioritize, right? Where are the pain points? Where are the processes that we need to identify to enable us really to experiment and pilot and accelerate, right? With the focus about data foundation, understanding which methods can enable us to do this, come up with new ways of navigating things that we couldn't have before, and the technology here can enable it. And it's a big field, and I'm sure that we will have a lot of interaction and engagement.
But we recently relaunched the Cambridge Service Alliance podcast, actually, about service and AI transformation. So I would assume it would be just not even a first episode with Alexey, but basically a teaser, of some future conversations when we can unpack different angles, different case studies and so on. So really looking forward. But also we know that's a lot of people right now are quite scared with what's going on with this speed of change with AI and everything. But we also know that you work with other universities as well, with other companies, and we work with other universities and other companies. And through building such type of connection, partnerships, collaboration, like openly unpacking these questions, looking at this from both ways, from industry and from academia. I actually, as a result of this even short conversation, personally, I feel slightly calmer, really feels more hopeful, and that it's actually can be really exciting new chapter. Thank you so much for joining, and we'll continue with the new episodes.
Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.